Okay. So welcome everybody. I want you to try and find a little bit of space. You don't need a lot, but maybe you want to put a blanket down or yoga mat or something soft for you just to kneel on. If you have problems with your knees, you might want to roll a blanket or a towel just to give you that bit of extra support. There are some yoga knee pads that you can purchase on Amazon. They're not very expensive, but if you find putting your pressure down into your knees uncomfortable, you might want to invest into some of those as you progress through your yoga practice. Okay, so we're going to work on wrists today. So I want you to come onto all fours. So when you come onto all fours, let me just make sure that I'm in the picture. When you come onto all fours, you want to make sure that your hands are spread, your fingers are spread, and that your hands are directly underneath your shoulders. Your knees are hip distance apart, and we're kind of going to just spend some time here first of all and just see if we can balance out the weight of our body. Now, I'm going to come close to the camera for a second because I want to show you my hand. When you put your hands on the floor in any yoga poses, you want to have your fingers spread mostly all the time. And you're going to use the tips of your fingers to kind of grip the mat. And then with the flat of your hand, you can see here, the flat of your hand, you're going to kind of use the grip of your fingers and kind of try and hollow out the palm of the hand a little bit. And that gives you a really good grip on the mat. And it'll also take the pressure off your wrists. So we're going to start with that first. So on all fours, onto your hands and knees. And all I want you to do is I want you to grip into your mat and feel that upward energy up into your shoulders and then relax. And at the same time, as you grip into the mat, you might just start to like slightly arch your back a little bit. Just very gently lifting up, engaging the shoulders and then coming back down. Inhale, lifting up, and then exhale, coming back down. And then after a while, just sit back onto your bottom or onto your heels and just rotate the hands around, stretching it out. Go one way and then the other. And then just maybe wiggling the fingers, kind of flicking the fingers forward and back. Coming back onto all fours, so knees hip distance apart, hands underneath your shoulders. We're going to start and gently just shift our weight forward and back. So you're just rocking, trying to bring your shoulders slightly over your wrists and then rocking back. And you can start off quite slowly. What I like to do is maybe put some nice music on and just take some time for yourself. And I mentioned earlier about the importance of breath work. So as you're doing this, we're connecting to the breath. So you're inhaling, coming forward, exhaling, coming back. Inhale forward, exhale back. Inhale, exhale back. And then at any point where you feel you want to have a rest, sit back onto your heels and just wiggle and flick the fingers again and just kind of stretch out and take that pressure off. So the more time that we do this, as often as we can, over time our wrists will develop a little bit more strength. Okay? And then from here, we're going to move our hands out to the side. So you're going to turn the palms, well the fingers, so that the fingers are pointing to the outside. And then we're just going to do the same, but we're going to rock over from one shoulder to the other. So we're just shifting our weight side to side, that's it. Stretching out here. Again, remember, anytime sit back onto your heels, stretch it out. And then after a few minutes of doing this, we're going to see if we can turn our hands the other way. So we're going to turn the fingers facing inwards. And they're going to do the same. Feels a bit weird, this one. And what you might want to do is maybe just, if you feel like a little bit of tension, maybe stay there for a little bit. I find this easier. Well, not easier, I feel this works more in my wrist. Try to stretch the back of the wrist into the hand. And then pushing back the other way. Anytime, sit back onto your heels, rotate the wrist, take that pressure off. Actually, let's all do that now for the next one. So, little circles, quick little fits, little circles, rotate around, and then maybe a few little flicks. Yeah, we like those little kicks and pops if we can. We know then we're releasing the tension. Okay, back onto your hands. This time, we're going to turn the fingers round. So we're going to turn the fingers round to point the knees. Now, you might not be able to get your hand all the way around like I do, but just take it around as far as you can. And this might be as far as you go. This in itself is quite a stretch. So if it feels too much, just stay here for a few breaths and then ease out. If you feel you can go a little bit deeper, what I want you to do very slowly is just lean back a little bit. Oh, that's it. And that feels really nice, stretching down the back of my wrist into my arms. And then you maybe want to do a few little rocks. Personally, I like just to stay here and breathe it out, close my eyes, settle into the stretch. And then when you're ready, sit back onto your heels and stretch it out. So similar stretches to what we did earlier, but this time, push the palm away, grab a hold of your fingers in one hand and just pull back. Nice. And then we're going to do the opposite. You're going to turn the palm, so the palm's facing you, and I want you to take your fingers and you're just going to pull down. So as if you're trying to pull your fingers down towards your wrist. Good, that's it. 3, 4, 5. And then we'll do the other side. So take the hand, push away. Remember to breathe. Nice. And then the other way. How lovely is that? Well done. And then just stretch it out. You might want to interlace your fingers. Stretch it out. Lovely. So do this as regular as you can. It's a nice little warm up to do maybe before class. It's nice to do maybe, like I mentioned earlier, 5 or 10 minutes every day, a little bit of practice. That could be your yoga practice for a while until you strengthen out your wrists and your hands. And if you find after this maybe that the hands and the wrists are a little bit tender, grab some oil and just gently warm it a little bit. Make sure you check it that you don't burn in your hand, and just give your wrist a little bit of a massage just to kind of release the tension there, and then over time that will improve. So thank you very much for joining me, and I'll see you next time.